Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to today's Caffeine for the Soul. And today's podcast is inspired by one of my early mentors, a man named Bill Cumming. And he used to say, the only moment that you have any certainty of is this one. And to illustrate that, he would often point to some horrible things that happen in the world where people are just going along with their lives, and then suddenly they get a diagnosis, or they get a phone call that somebody they love, something has happened, or something goes on in the world, or people that he had worked with who'd been in places where terrorist attacks would happen, and atrocities around the world. And it wasn't that he was a Debbie Downer. It was that we live in such a relatively safe society that it's kind of easy to forget how uncertain the world of form can be. And so it's easy to get lost in our thinking and go time traveling in our heads and not be present with what is, because we assume that what is just going to keep going on as it is. And that when we wake up to now is the only moment that we have any certainty of, we naturally spend more time present to the present to the people we are with in the present to ourselves in the present to what's wanted and needed in the world in the present. And that was very helpful to me at the time. And years later, I was writing my first book, and I got into an argument with my editor about whether the phrase should be at the moment or in the moment. And she was very insistent that the correct way to talk about things was at the moment. And somehow in that distinction, I realized the difference between the only moment the way I'd heard Bill talk about it, and the only moment as I was coming to see it for myself. Now, Sid Banks once said that life is a divine dream suspended between the boundaries of time, space, and matter. And for me, what that means to me, what I see in that, is we make up time. There's no such thing as time in nature. We make up space as a form. We make up matter, that some stuff is solid and some stuff isn't. We make up the world. Thought creates our world, said the physicist David Bohm, and then says, I didn't do it. Well, via thought, we make up time, we make up space, we make up matter, and then life unfolds within that construct. Now, to me, the closest analogy to that was in geometry. And I can't remember if it's Euclidean geometry or Pythagorean geometry. I think it's Euclidean. There are three things that get made up: a point, a line, and a plane. Now, there's no such thing as a point in nature. There's no such thing as a line in nature. There's no such thing as a plane, not an airplane, but a plane where it's like lines extending in infinite directions for an infinite length. Basically a flat surface. But by working within the construct of the point, line, plane postulate, we can build houses, we can design roads, we can create a lot of the forms that we have in the world. In the same way, without time, space, and matter, we wouldn't be able to experience life the way that we experience it. But that does not mean that they are fundamentally true. There is a space before time, space, and matter. There is an energy, a formless energy before the creation of time, space, and matter. And that is the only moment there is. That is the true present. That is now, not as a moment in time, but as a place before time, outside of time. So the only moment there is the only moment that is. And when we are in that moment, we are living outside of time, space, and matter. It is the timeless present, the only moment that there is. Have fun, learn heaps, and I'll talk to you soon.